Hello there, everybody. It is Sarah here, and I'm just realizing I left my sheet of paper over in the corner. All right, we are here for day 4 of Expedition to Soul. Welcome in. And if you are, let's just wait because it takes a minute for everybody to find where we are while I try to make myself some arm space here. I think we're good. All right. I think people are finding us and that we are live. By we, I'm talking about myself. Unless, of course, I'm talking about gathering the allies and all the forms of self from day 2. All right. There we are. Good morning. I am Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, and this is day 4 of Expedition to Soul. So if you are just finding your way here and you have no idea what it is that we're talking about, you can go to expeditiontosoul.com to find out more and get registered. This is our free class, and it's been so good so far. I've really been enjoying seeing all of the shares from everybody and what everybody is learning along the way. So let's do a little recap, and then we're going to go into what it is we're going to talk about today. All right. And I can do some housekeeping too. So we'll do housekeeping and then a recap. So I see a question if people will be able to watch the videos next week. Also, yes, you can watch the videos next week. That's totally fine. And what else? If you have any questions ever, be sure to tag us in the group, or you can email us at magic@thesistersenchanted.com. Remember to participate in the Facebook group threads because we will be picking people to win a prize at the end of Expedition to Soul from those threads, random participants. And if you need your class link, it's in the email. You can always find it there. In the comments today, I know for sure we have Christina in the comments helping us out. She's our student success sorceress. So if you've ever emailed in, you've probably heard from her. And I think we probably have Sarah here in the comments, and Danielle might even say hello here too. It's all Team TSE. If you see anybody signing their name with Team TSE for the Sisters Enchanted, or if you see anybody signing their name as a magic mentor, then those are all people that are contributing here. Our magic mentors are folks who have graduated from both our holistic witchery and expedition astrology programs. So they are well versed in how we would answer questions. And I'm sorry, I'm fiddling with this mic, but we moved our chairs yesterday, Anna and I started this without moving mine back. And now I'm trapped by this microphone arm. Okay. Now, Expedition to Soul, 5 days. On day 1, we started with reclaiming our energy. We started by reclaiming our energy, bringing all the bits of us back to self. And I wanted to bring this diagram back. This was from day 1, just as a reminder as to why we do this and what, keep this in mind along the way. Here we talked about this on day 1. We all have these fleeting thoughts. So things that enter our mind. Maybe you consider something that you might want for yourself, or something that you might want for your future, or like a brilliant idea that you might have. And then perhaps, not always, but perhaps you have some fleeting thought that enters. The example I gave was one of them was on taking a trip by yourself. And maybe you think, oh, I would love to do that, but I can't because, I've got all these people I have to care for. I have a job that would inconvenience just like everything, and I can't do it. So we have these fleeting thoughts, right? And then we might have another thought from other people's voices. Maybe somebody in your life told you that it's not safe to travel by yourself. So now that thought enters your mind. And based on this random thought that you had, that's fueled by experience in life, and then what other people have told you, based on those two things, you make the choice not to follow that like dream, or that intuitive insight you had, that thought, that thing that was really calling to you. And this here in the middle, this is your inner voice. It's your inner knowing, and it's trapped between these fleeting thoughts that we have about why something's hard, why we can't do it, why it's not for us, because we so often think things aren't for us. No matter what stage of life you're in, what age, whatever, things happen and we think, well, that's for somebody else who's not me. And then we start to think of all the reasons we've learned as to why that's true, and we make our choices accordingly. Well, what we really need to hear our soul selves, our intuition, your higher self, your wisdom, whatever it is that you want to call it, it's trapped in between all of that. And one of the things that we hope for you at through Expedition to Soul is that you open up to that and hear at least what's in there. Whether or not you act on it, that's up to you, but that you at least start to hear it. So day 1 is all about reclaiming your energy. And we do that to get away all of those energetic ties to everything we have that's in the way of what's truly ours, what it is that we want to hear for ourselves, what we know to be our own inner truth. Because hearing that truth, it's very often influenced by everything else going on around us, what other people need, what other people believe to be true. And so often we might even take that as our truth when it's really not. If you've been led to believe that you're a bad daughter, or like you're really bad at your job or something, just because like you've heard it so much, that doesn't make it true, but we internalize that as true because we've heard it so often. So like releasing all of those energetic ties and really coming back to just what is you and what is your truth is so important. We do that on day 1. And we also talk about the personal pilgrimage on day 1 to encourage you to get outside of your regular space. Like get outside of routine, get outside of those energetic bonds, those ties, like everything you see around you that holds all of your responsibility, everything that's sentimental, and get away from it so that you really can better hear yourself without the influence and impact of all of that around you. So even if that's in your own house, go sit in a different chair than you normally sit in. Go, go wherever it is you need to go, but make that change. And I see Lexi saying, ouch, that daughter comparison hit home. Yeah, I felt that way too, with some things with my mom and even my dad and my stepdad. And I've felt several times like I'm not a good daughter for choices that I've made. But then I have to remember, my job is to honor my path, not to be the be all end all for everybody else. All right, so that's day 1. On day 2, my favorite day, it's assembling the allies, bringing in your greatest support system in your own self. So through that day, we talk about all the past versions of you standing right there with the present version of you and the future version of you. We do that on day 2. We also talk about making the declaration that you're like all in for this no matter what. Day 3, yesterday, was our moon sign day. And we talk about that as being kind of like the dark forest or the cave that you encounter on your quest. And it's scary. And you're like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Maybe I should go home. And that's your shadow self. It's really your the part of you that comes out when you feel defensive, when you feel like things aren't working out the way you wanted them to, when somebody maybe says something like not kind to you or pushes one of your buttons or your expectations aren't met. That's how you act when subconsciously, reflexively almost. It just comes out. And you might think later, oh, I did it again. I put my foot in my mouth again. But that's that moon sign that's really shining. And that's where we talk about that as being that cave, because we have to see it about ourselves, acknowledge it as truth, be able to walk into the cave through all of that in order to come out the other side. Now, just because we come out the other side one time, it doesn't mean there's not another cave and another cave. Like we all know this is life. The caves are going to keep popping up. But when we have the support of ourselves, when we've reclaimed our energy and we know what our voice is telling us, we're better equipped to walk through the cave instead of just going back to the beginning and repeating this stuff over and over again. And when we do repeat it over and over again, we can see, oh, that was that cave. I did not walk through it. I just stood outside of it and did the same old things without getting to the other side. And that's okay, because then you know for next time. That, my friends, is life. But that's what we did yesterday. We talked about moon signs. And I'm wearing my astrology shirt today. I should have worn it. Yesterday. Been on theme. And today, day 4, you had 2 options for visualizations today. You could do neither of them. You could do one of them. You could do both of them. But on day 4 today, we talk about creating or identifying a talisman. which is like a magical support tool for you to carry forward. So think about this on your expedition to soul. If we were on a great big journey out there in the world, you'd go through that cave, you'd have this adventure, and you might bring something home with you. Like maybe you actually go get a tool, or you go get something, you bring it back home. Or maybe it's metaphorical, you discover something, you bring it back home, a changed person, but we bring something home with us. So you can choose something, you could do the visualization to maybe call you to create something or locate something. It's really up to you. You don't have to use the visualization. I did bring some examples of things. I gotta reach over and get them to encourage you along of what some items might be that are just small and not a lot of effort to acquire, right? So one is just a stone, a crystal. It can be a stone from your own backyard. I have this, I forget the name of it. Every time I talk about this, I forget the name. But it's like um broken shells all kind of not glued together but held together organically, and it coquina, is that the name? I think that's what it is. And anyway, I got this in the beach on the beach in Florida, and I just love it, and I love to hold it, and actually a couple of pieces of it, and it sits on my desk. But what I use that for is a like a centerpiece to remind me of what it is, what my intention is for life right now. And for me, that is time and location freedom. Like that's the ultimate for me, is to be able to say, "Hey, we're going to go to this place and stay there for 2 months, or we're going to go here for a week." And I've created my entire life so that we have time and location freedom. That's always my number one thing. It's not money, it's not like it's not anything else. It's time and location freedom. And this is an excellent reminder um to me of that. I think I said that weird. It's an excellent reminder of that for me. And I keep it on my desk right under my computer monitor all the time. I've got more elements like that at home. But for me, that's what that serves as. A little bracelet. You may have made friendship bracelets when you were younger with the embroidery floss. Those can be amazing. Yeah, coquina shells. There you go. These can be amazing talismans where you can think of an intention or just think of your future self visualization if you did that activity, whatever it is that you want to do. And these are great things to make, and they're inexpensive, they're fast, and you can make them until they wear out or fall off. This one I had, and then it fell off eventually. And that's when I realized it was time for me to move on to the next intention, right? And now it just kind of sits around here by my desk space. This is a lovely person in our community who makes different things for us from time to time. Sent me this as a gift, and has her logo on it. And it says they called her a witch because she knew how to heal herself. So something with a little like a empowering statement that could be a talisman. Another thing, a tattoo, if you're a tattoo person. I got my first tattoo this summer. I'm wild, I know. It's a Sagittarius symbol. That can be a talisman. Earlier today during our co-witching, I don't think you can really see it. I think it's fading. But I drew with some ashes on my arm. Ooh, we gathered with one of our student groups for a co-witching session, something like that. I wear this necklace. It's a sister's enchanted necklace. My sister and I both have one. I wear that often. So talismans can be really anything that you want it to be. You can make it if you're crafty. You can just find something. But the idea is that it's a like a charm of sorts for a reminder of where you want to be, and it's empowering. And when you look at it, it brings you back to where you want to be. So, the other option for today, if you want to do it, is a future self visualization. Now, for some people, that might feel like overkill after the day 2 of being your own best ally. But I love to look at my future self often, because I feel like for me, it's the North Star to where I want to be. And I talked about this the other day, that looking at your future, it's not about knowing exactly what it's going to look like, because my future today, like right now, if you had asked me 5 years ago or 10 years ago if my life would look the way it does, I would have told you you were like, been like, no, that's insane. But I knew, the one thing I knew is that I wanted time and location freedom. I've always known that. And then I move forward accordingly, right? Like I move forward accordingly. And doing a future self visualization can help me to see what it is that I'm feeling like my embodiment in the future. Um, like how just my presence, how I'm being. And that helps me to sort of recalibrate to that future self and make sure that I'm living a life in alignment with where I want to be. One of the things I'm incredibly obsessed with, which sounds silly, but really is time. I'm entirely obsessed with time. Like past lives, future lives, and time in the present. I am super obsessed with because I think that in all of the discussion around creating a life of your dreams and manifestation and like law of attraction and affirmations, that's all well and good. But if you're not actually living and walking that talk and integrating your intentions into your life on purpose and doing the shadow work to understand why you're not doing it, even if you do manifest the biggest of things, it will be fleeting because you don't have the capacity to hold it. You don't have the capacity to live it. So knowing what it is in a broad way, that like knowing where you're going, that really is the key to bringing in whatever it is you want to bring into your life. All right. I'm just checking the comments here. I see people sharing about tattoos. And Paula wears her talismans. Yeah. So good. So good. Um, all right. So that's the future self. So future self and talisman. That is what we are doing on day 4. You don't have to do them both. You can do just one. You can do them both. You can do them at different times if you want to. Totally up to you. But I do want you to think about what it is that you can carry forward with you to remind you of whatever it is you've experienced so far or what you hope to continue to experience. And then with your future self, I really want you to think about, even if you don't do the visualization, just think about, what would be wild to feel like 5-10 years from now, no matter what stage of life you're in. What would be really wild if you could feel that way? And for me, 5 or 10 years ago, that was location and time freedom. That felt super wild. Yet I knew that that's what I wanted to hold on to, and that's what I've created for myself. I have a life where I can literally work from anywhere. And I can do that on the time that I want to do it on. And I've made that for myself. It's not perfect. By any means, it's not perfect. And I've been thrown roadblocks left and right. But I hold that vision and I keep moving forward on it. All right. So I see that I've got a question about more suggestions for shadow work. Well, my friends, we have the What is Shadow Work and How to Do It live class that I teach. I'm teaching it twice live each time. And I'm teaching it on Sunday and on Thursday. You can register. It's free. You get the replay if you can't be there live. If you do show up live, we do give you a gift for showing up live. So I really recommend showing up live. But if you can't, still get the replay. And the What is Shadow Work and How to Do It class, it's again 2 times, this Sunday and Thursday. So we have a weekend time for the folks who work during the week, and we've got a weekday time for our weekend workers. So Sunday and Thursday, and they're both live. So I'll answer questions. We do live examples, and we really break it down so that shadow work doesn't feel like something that's cumbersome and that you have to sit down and spend 20 hours to do. I think that there's this idea with shadow work that like you have to do it right. You need all these journals and notebooks and things. And like, honestly, you don't need any of that. And we're going to make it so super easy for you. And so we'll talk about that more there. We actually, and you're going to hear about this in tomorrow's video too when it comes out, but we call it our intention to intuition model, and it's what our holistic witchery class is based on. And when we talk about setting intentions and living them, doing shadow work is the next part of that, because we want to understand why we're not living our intentions if we're not. And it's really, really important. So we're going to have that free class to go on there as well. All right. Let me just scan the comments here, see if there's anything else that it can speak to in the moment. Got a lot of people already registered. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see here. And okay, so I do have some things that I can you can share that link out to friends to register. Somebody was asking about that. Okay. So, Yeah, thank you for being here. Okay, so some of the things that we see in the some of the things that we see coming up in the group. These are a few of the hurdles that we see, and I just saw two of them here. One about time, like being overscheduled, health issues, as related to barriers to creating what it is that you want for your life. And then also another one that I know that we've seen is around different ages and stages for life. Oh, I see one comment just came by, registered for shadow work and holistic witchery. It's not showing me your name, it's showing me Facebook user, but welcome to holistic witchery. If you just joined us, you are in for a treat. Okay, so let's talk about this time. The issue of time. The issue of time is very real, which is why I'm obsessed with it. And this is I'm gonna sound very hoity-toity on a soapbox right now. I definitely am, and I'm gonna own that. So I I know what it's like to run oneself ragged. I know that. When I was starting the Sisters Enchanted, it was a year old and I was answering customer service emails within hours of giving birth to my second child. Believe me, I know what it's like to not have any time. And time is not super easy to come by for a lot of reasons. And the thing I can say about having time is to really be ruthless about understanding where your time is going. And I think that's a very important thing and actually very relevant to Expedition to Soul because there can be a lot of shadow reasons why we're not ruthless about our time. A lot of reasons why we're not ruthless about it because we want to help other people. We feel like we need to do all of these things. We feel like it's impossible to get anybody else to help us do these things because nobody else knows how to do it. Maybe you need to work 3 jobs. I've been there where I've worked several jobs at once. So I get that. Like all of these things can be very real reasons why we don't have time. And the thing I really want you to consider is what it is that you are saying yes to with your time and be ruthless, like really cutthroat. Find something that you can start saying no to, whether that's putting away your family's laundry or maybe in the flip side of this can be people who find that they have all the time in the world because they're retired or they're in a second stage of life and they can't find the motivation to use that time. And in which case, also be ruthless with what it is you're going to say no to. You're going to say no to checking your phone first thing in the morning. If that's your case, if your case is that you're working 3 jobs and you don't have a babysitter, what is it that what can you do to double down then to condense a job by maybe asking for a raise at one job? You have to be ruthless with your time and figuring out what to cut away. It's not always easy and it's baby steps. Find yourself 1 hour and then find yourself 2 hours and then find yourself 3 hours. And it takes time. And you also have to understand the shadow reasons why maybe you're not doing that. So start with that. Health matters. Health is one that we see frequently. And my brother, he's a type 1 diabetic. So I can see from that perspective where you really do, some people have health situations that really make it like impossible to do what it is that you want to be doing. In which case, and for every single person here, think about where it is that you want to be, right? Just think about where you want to be and then be open to unique possibilities for having that experience. Not so much the what it requires and how you're going to make it happen. And this sounds very airy fairy law of attraction. I know that. And like it always bugs me when things sound so intangible. But really understanding just how you want to embody life, how you want to feel, and then finding ways that are accessible to you to feel that way. So for me, with time and location freedom, like I want to go travel the world. But as it is now, I've got 2 young kids. One of them has autism. I do own a business. I've got 2 elderly cats that I can't just pawn off on somebody because they're old. One of them like poops on the floor. It's gross. I'm oversharing. I know, but I can't like find somebody to take her. So because of that, my trips are pretty much like they're constrained to maybe 3 weeks that I can go away for before I have to come home again. So while I'm like, yes, I can go anywhere. And also, it has to be within this time. I've not reached exactly where I want to be. It started with a few days, then it started with a week, and then it was 2 weeks. And then we were like, oh, we can do this for 3 weeks. And it's expanding out and out and out as life changes. So consider how you want to feel. I wanted to feel location free. And I do feel that because I can go away for 3 weeks, come home for a week, go away for 3 weeks. I can do that. It's not always easy, but I can. And it just changes. So, and health is a very real thing. Like, you cannot law of attraction away a health situation that is there. So, I think that understanding how you want to feel, how you want to like embody life, and then find the things that fit that more so than exactly what is the exact thing you want to do. So time, health, and then the last thing that I know that we see is ages and stages, and it is a very real thing where people feel like, oh, well, there's like this group of people who are in second stage life who don't have kids at home, and then there's people with young kids, and there's people who wanted kids who never had kids, and then there's like working people and non-working people. The reality is that we all experience the same things in different ways. A person whose life does not feel full is going to feel as overwhelmed as a person whose life feels like they have no time on their hands. So somebody who's like, I work 3 jobs and I got 4 kids and no babysitter, they're like, a person who does not have to work but feels completely unfulfilled with life is going to feel that same level of overwhelm from a different way. So I think that the thing to take away here from Expedition to Soul is just to consider how it fits in your experience, how it fits in your experience. That said, I do have an exciting announcement. I don't have the link ready. I'm going to get it ready as soon as we are done with this. I'm going to go do it and I'm going to pop it over in our Facebook group. I'll be sure to email it out also. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll find it. But we have put together, we're doing, I'm not quite sure what we're calling them, but we're calling them like Expedition to Soul chats, I guess, but they are going to be targeted towards specific groups of people because we have been seeing this idea where people are like, well, how does this apply to my specific case? So we're having 4 of them. They're free also. 3 of them are on Monday and 1 is on Tuesday this coming week. On Monday, and I'll get you the links and everything, and we'll send out replays also. But on Monday, we are hosting one. We're calling it for like first stage life people. I didn't really know what to call it, but folks who would still consider themselves like early to mid adulthood, I guess, who are not parents. That's going to be one. The other one's going to be for people who would put themselves like in the thick of momhood, motherhood. That will be another group. The third group is going to be for people who would qualify themselves as second stage life or the crone stage, empty nesters, anything in that category. And you can come to more than one. So you might be a person who's like, feels like a crone, but also like a mother, or you might feel like, I don't know. You could come to more than one though. So we're going to have those 3 on Monday. And then the 4th one I'm going to host on Tuesday. And that is for people who are either like business owners, working folks who have to care for other people, or like you have a side hustle. So really like if you're like the breadwinner, business owner, side hustle mentality, I'm going to host that one on Tuesday. So we have 4 of them. I'm going to, most likely I'll be at all of them. But Sarah Milne, who is our program director, Sarah is in that second stage life. She's an empty nester, and like she's like first steps in her crondom, I guess we'll call it. So she is going to host that session on Monday. Our one of our teammates, Danielle, she works behind the scenes here, but Danielle is she's not a parent and in that first half of life still. So she is going to be with one of them. And Danielle is here. She says, I'll be there. Sarah Milne, who is in that second stage life, she's actually going to join Danielle for that chat because Sarah's adult daughter is very much in that stage also. And they talk a lot about this. So Sarah's going to be there as well. And then I'm going to host the like business working person one. I don't know what I'm going to call that, but and then Anna will definitely be at the mom one, and I'm sure Christina will join in for that also, and then if she can, and then I will be there as well because I'll probably be at all of them, but just because I'm a busybody like that. Let's see here. Let me check out the comments on this because I do see a bunch of them coming in. Expedition Forums, someone called it. That is a great name for that. It won't show me your name, but 10 points to you for that. Let's see here. Um, a crone who's taken on being a parent to a 5-year-old. See, that's what I'm saying. You can come to more than one because that's definitely two different things happening. Let's see here. Yes, maid, maiden, crone. Exactly. Yes. We're trying to like change the names a little bit to for people who might not understand. If you're watching and maybe you don't know the idea of the maid, maiden, and crone. So we're trying to make sure it's language that everybody will understand. Yeah, so and two, you can come to more than one. So if you're like, I'm not sure where I fit here, you can definitely come to more than one of them as well. Because the reality is we are all in different stages. Like even as a daughter myself, I always felt like the mother to my mother, So I think we all can understand in different areas where we might embody different stages. So, no one's gonna if you show up to one, no one's gonna say something like, you're in the wrong group. You're not supposed to be here. You're gonna be welcomed with open arms for sure. All right, let's see here. Let me just scroll through, see if there's anything I can answer about any of them. Um, yeah, okay, here. Late 30s, no kids, Val's asking. I think you can choose you can choose which one. Like to me, if that, just for me, I would still say that's that first half life, first stage. Are we calling it first stage life? That said, too, depending on your own body and where you are, like one of the things I'm certainly, if you were to look at like a timeline of ages, maiden, mother, crone, I'm certainly not at that crone timeline. However, I am experiencing lots of bodily shifts, like lots of hormonal things that are going on for me. My menstrual cycle is changing left and right, like hair loss. Like I have all kinds of things indicating that my body is moving in a different direction than it used to be. So, it's really like how are you called to embody and come to two if you want to come to two. They're free. So I mean, like, I don't know, why not? You can always watch the replays also because we are hosting 3 all on Monday. So unless you want to spend the whole day with us, which you are welcome to. Let's see here. Let me just check out a little bit more in the comments, make sure I'm not missing any questions here that uh yeah. Oh, I see this too as warrior, teacher, wise woman. Yeah. So good. So good. All right. So we came up with this morning. Actually, I got out of the shower and it was my first thought. And I like messaged everybody and they were like, yes, let's do it. So I am going to finish getting I couldn't get it done fast enough. So I'm going to get it together on a sign up page and get everybody the links so you know where to find it all on Monday. But it'll be easy to find, access on Zoom, all good stuff. All right, my friends. So then I feel like we talked about so much today. So day 4, we are Talisman and we are future selves if you want to do that. We got some more goodness coming your way. Day 5 tomorrow. And if we can help you with anything at all, just let us know in the group. We are here. And I think that's it. I think that's it. All right then. Full moon was yesterday, but happy continued full moon for those of you still working with that energy today. And I will leave you with that. That's what I'll leave you with. So share in the group. The post for the day should be up. And I think that's it. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 5. Onwards, questers. All right. Bye.